Karma, soul contracts, and family patterns, they keep you trapped without you even noticing. But today I will show you how to free yourself from them forever. Imagine this. There is this one relationship that fails again and again, even though you wanted to do everything differently. Or the lack of money that follows you like a shadow. Maybe it is also the physical blockage that doctors cannot explain. What if I tell you this is no coincidence? Your soul repeats through karma, soul contracts, and family patterns what it has not yet understood. It is as if you keep turning in circles, but never really move forward. And that is exactly why you should watch this video until the end. Because I will not only show you why you keep going in circles, but I will also give you the key to break through your karma, old soul contracts and patterns once and for all. Now let's start. What is karma? Every time you suppress your truth, every time you act against your soul, you create an energetic imbalance. And because we live in a living, intelligent universe where everything strives to balance itself, what you send out always comes back to you. We call this karma. But at its core, it has nothing to do with guilt or punishment, which we so often confuse it with. In everyday life, these imbalances often sneak in unnoticed, not through big dramas, but through small, seemingly harmless decisions. You say yes, again, although your soul quietly whispers no. Every time you do that, you build up an invisible debt, not to others but to yourself. It is as if you mute your own voice just to avoid conflict or meet expectations. Now you know more about karma. But what are soul contracts? Before we come to earth, we design a soul plan, a kind of divine roadmap with experiences we want to have and lessons we are meant to learn. These agreements we call soul contracts. But be careful. A soul contract is not a decree of suffering. It is a courageous yes to growth. Your soul contracts often reveal themselves in subtle ways. You only need to learn to understand their language. They show themselves in those key themes that appear again and again in your life, like a motif that runs through the chapters of your biography. Maybe it is always about authority, conflicts with superiors or power struggles, the feeling of not being heard. Your soul contracts are not chains, but promises to yourself, promises to grow, to understand, and to finally recognize yourself. They are the reason why certain situations repeat until you are ready to see something new in them. Until you realize this was never a problem. It was always a call to come home. Can soul contracts be changed? Yes, they can. Your free will always exists, and the more aware you become, the more options you have to change your soul contracts, to choose new experiences, and to make your dreams real. And we will talk in a moment about how this works. Let us move to family patterns. You think you're free in your choices? But what if I tell you that up to 70% of your thoughts, fears and behaviors are not even truly yours? Those are family patterns. Family patterns are invisible energetic programs that run like a red thread through your bloodline. They are passed down generation after generation, often without anyone noticing. They are deeply imprinted influences that shape your thinking, your feeling, and your actions, even though they did not originally belong to you. And they are the main cause, negative beliefs. Those are the invisible rules of your family. For example, like money is evil, love hurts, or I have to work hard to be worth. And something may have already been lived by your grandparents and then unconsciously handed down to you. They act like an inner voice that holds you back, even when you rationally know they are not true. And they create unprocessed emotional burdens, the inheritance of your ancestors. Your parents and grandparents had their own unresolved traumas, fears and pains, and much of that was never healed. Instead, it was silently passed on, like a suitcase handed to you without your permission. Maybe you carry the suppressed anger of your father, who was never allowed to stand up for himself, or the deep grief of your mother, who could never really say goodbye. Maybe you feel a vague fear that actually belongs to your grandmother, who had to fight for survival during the war. These burdens are not yours, and yet you feel their weight. And when it comes to money, does it always come and go in the same way in your life? Financial sabotage is often the strongest family inheritance. Behind every "I cannot be wealthy" usually stands an ancient survival strategy. Do not stand out, or money brings unhappiness. But let us now look more closely at how to dissolve these blockages. Everything begins with a simple but profound law. What resonates with you shows you where your soul is still learning. If certain patterns keep catching up with you, whether karma, soul contracts, or family patterns, it is not because the universe wants to punish you. It is because you unconsciously carry a negative belief that attracts these energies. Why does it keep repeating? The answer lies in one of the deepest spiritual laws. Energy follows attention, and the universe mirrors back what you send out from within. On an energetic level, you are like a radio constantly broadcasting certain frequencies. And these vibrations, shaped by your unconscious beliefs, fears and convictions, attract exactly the experiences that match them. If deep inside you carry the belief "I'm not safe," maybe without even realizing it, life will send you situations that confirm this insecurity. Job loss, unpredictable people, existential fears. Not as punishment, but as an exact reflection of your inner truth. If you unconsciously believe love hurts because you saw it with your parents or experienced it yourself, you will attract relationships that repeat this pain. Not because you deserve it, but because your energy says this feels familiar. If within you the belief money is bad or rich people are selfish is anchored, your financial flow will block. Not because the universe wants to deny your abundance, but because you yourself unconsciously reject it. It is not coincidence. It is not bad luck. It is pure physics, the law of resonance. Your reality is nothing but an echo of your most dominant vibrations. And that is exactly what certain patterns keep coming back. As long as the underlying belief is active, you keep sending out the same frequency and you keep receiving the same response. The good news is this law works both ways. As soon as you change the inner belief, the outer reality must also change. Not because you force it, but because the universe cannot do anything else but respond to you. How do you transform a negative belief? Life is genius. It shows you through repeating patterns exactly where we are still blocked. These blockages are like signposts to the hidden beliefs that unconsciously guide us. But how do you move from recognition to real change? The first step is not positive thinking, not affirmations, not wiping it away. It is the courageous act of feeling. If you keep experiencing the same painful situation, it is an invitation to pause and feel into the emotion that this situation triggers in you. Maybe there is anger, sadness, or deep helplessness. These feelings are not your enemy. They are the energetic charge of the old belief. Only when you truly allow them and feel them through, then only can the blockage dissolve. Then comes the decisive question, why do I still believe this? This question can be painful because the answer often leads back to old wounds, maybe to a moment when you felt abandoned, betrayed, or small. Maybe to a sentence you always heard as a child that burned itself into you. This part is bitter but necessary, because only if you understand where the belief comes from can you consciously disempower it. Only then, when you have recognized the root and released the emotional charge, are you ready for the next step, choosing a new positive belief. This is not a superficial exercise, but a deep decision. You do not just replace "I'm not good enough" with "I'm perfect," but with something that feels true, like I am learning to accept myself as I am. And then the practice begins. Every time the old pain comes up, you consciously remind yourself of your new choice, not as a lie, but as an alternative that you slowly internalize. Life will still hold mirrors up to you, but you will notice them, that they show you something very important. Transformation does not happen through pushing away, but through accepting, understanding, and consciously choosing anew. This is where the magic lies. If you are ready to no longer carry your old karma, soul contracts, or family patterns, if you truly want to transform them, then I invite you to book a free first session with my team. In this session, we will discover together which blockages currently slow you down the most, how you can dissolve them with tailored techniques, and which next step will bring you into your full power. This is your invitation into a life that is no longer controlled by old programs, but by your conscious choice. Click the link in the description now and secure your non-binding consultation. Your soul has waited long enough. Now it's your time. Share this important video, and I love you.